What's going on, everybody? It's Carmine from Barmine Tech, and today we're going to be talking about a project called Hoarder. So if you're not familiar, Hoarder was a project that grew in popularity a couple months ago, and this was due to the fact that, one, it was a great project, but two, is that there was some drama between people trying to steal the trademark and claim the name for another project. And I don't know all the details, I haven't followed up on it, so we're not going to go into detail about it today. However, I do know that about a month ago, the future of this project was unsure, as there was somebody that was trying to take the name and call it as their own when it wasn't. It was created by somebody different. If you're not familiar, Hoarder is pretty much a bookmarking tool that you could have an app on your phone, an extension in your browser, and you can integrate OpenAI's API to help you sort your bookmarks, tag them, and categorize them to make them easier for use. I'm going to show you what one looks like when it's all populated and has the AI integration with it. So this is my Hoarder instance that I'm running. And as you can see, I just inserted pretty much all my bookmarks right out of Brave, and by integrating the AI, it's able to generate tags and everything else based off of it. I have over here, we have the tags, and these are all tags that were developed by using the OpenAI API. The program is able to go through and say, hey, this bookmark is considered this. So let's see, I can go over to network security, and over here you can see that I have a bookmark I have for a CVE I was using, and a Pi-hole write-up I was using at one point. We can keep going through, and we have stuff such as like digital fabrication, and it was a Thingiverse design that I got. Let's find that one. Here you go. So here's network UPS tool. So this is when I was running Peanut on a Raspberry Pi. Here's another bookmark I have for the project, and you can see that it just brings me right over to the project. So on top of being able to take bookmarks, and you can see it summarizes it, it gets an image for it, you can also keep notes and code blocks and everything else. I'm going to show you how like a code block will be categorized. I'm going to grab one of my old projects. I just grabbed the quick Hello World project that I had available. You can see it's some C++ that I was working on, and if I can save it, it over here generates it, and even further you can see it tags it out saying it's programmed, it knows it's C++, and it even can tell that it's a Hello World program. It's even tagged an introductory program, since the Hello World is pretty much the first program you write. But on top of code blocks, we could also do notes. So you can see over here, I could just type myself a quick note, and I can hit enter, and we can keep it available. So let's say you have other important stuff that you want to keep handy, you could write yourself notes in here, and it will also categorize it, and it's going to tag it out for me as well, I would assume. But you can see over here, we can keep our code blocks, our Docker container images, like anything you're interested in, you could save in here. So it's not only a bookmarking tool, but it's also note taking and organization. And you can see over here that it categorized my notes as well. We have lists, so we can also make lists. Let's say you have favorite bookmarks you're interested in. I did a self-hosted list, so we can categorize stuff by self-hosted. So the possibilities are endless of what you can do with it. So that's enough about the project. Let's get into how to actually set this up. So we're going to come over to the Proxmox helper scripts, because they do have a script for it, and it's going to make it super simple to set up. We're going to come over to documents and notes, and then over here you're going to see this Hoarder. On top of this, they have the link to their website. We have the link to their documentation, and then there's the install source and the update source. So if you do want to see the difference between how it's installed versus how it's updated, you can see over there. The documentation is pretty straightforward. The only thing that you might be interested in going forward is if you want to integrate the AI. And over here, it has its recommendations for which AI model to use off of OpenAI. Conveniently, you could also use a Llama, so if you are self-hosting an instance of that, you can integrate that into this instead of using the OpenAI API. I'm going to come over here, I'm just going to grab the install script. We're going to collapse that. We're going to open up the Barmine Tech node, and I'm just going to open up a shell. I'm going to paste this in, and then we're going to go through the install. It's pretty standard. It's going to ask if I want to make one, and now it's going to ask if I want to use the default settings. I'm just going to use advanced because I need to change a couple of things for the VM ID. You could go with the default, or if you want to do the advanced, you can go through and you'll probably have your own settings you want to configure. That's fine, so we'll be right back after it's all set up. So I just went through the advanced options really quick. It's just nothing really too crazy, it's just the normal questions, and now I'm going to get the ready to create, so I'm going to click yes. Now it's going to go through the process and import it. It's going to take a few minutes to install, so we'll be back when it's all set. I think in the meantime, while it installs, I think I'll just hit on the AI really quickly. So like I said, it does use OpenAI to integrate, so you can use it to organize and categorize and all that stuff and tag your bookmarks and notes if you are interested. It does use the GPT-4o mini model, It says that one works really well, and you can get a lot of tagging or categorization for about $1. That's based off the notes that are here. I don't know the actuality of how it works. I did it yesterday for my instance. I did $5 of credit just to have enough, and I am using the GPT-4o mini model. It seems to be working pretty well. I don't know the future of it. I'm not an AI expert, so I don't really know how well it does work. But we will see. It is working right now, and I seem to still have credits left over. It still seems to be working, so I think we're good. If you are interested in integrating the AI, that's fine. You can. If you don't want to integrate the AI, that's no problem. You don't need to. You just need to manually tag and go through all your bookmarks and your notes. Either way, Hoarder's still going to work just fine, whether you choose to use the OpenAI or not. Don't feel like you need to get the full use of it. You're not going to miss out on many features other than the tagging and the categorization. And after a few minutes, you can see that my install is all done. It's going to give me the URL to access it, so I'm just going to right click. I'm going to copy that over. I'm going to put that into a new browser, and we're going to go over to it. This is the first page you're going to get when you try to sign in. So if you don't already have an instance, you just need to sign up. I'm going to click sign up. And then over here, you can see that we're in our instance. So we have nothing in here. And the first thing we're going to do, as always, is come over to dark mode. So off the rip, there's really not much going on. We have no bookmarks. We have no notes. We have nothing going on. We can start off by adding stuff. And in their documentation, they actually have a way to import your bookmarks if you are interested. So if you're a Chrome user, you can just go over to here and you can export your bookmarks into an HTML. And then we could actually come over to settings, user settings, import export, and you can import all your bookmarks from either Link Warden, Omnivore, Pocket Export, an HTML file, and you can export your bookmarks from here as well, and your links and notes. They have it for Firefox, Pocket, Omnivore. You could also use the CLI if you're interested. So don't worry if you have all your bookmarks in a Chromium-based browser or Firefox, whatever. You can still put everything in here, no problem. So if you do want to integrate OpenAI into it, it only mentions how to set it up like through the Docker container. So if we come over to config, it gives us these tags, which would be for like if it's Docker-based, because this is intended for like a Docker-based install mostly. But we can do it still over here in the LXC container. So to integrate the OpenAI on the LXC container, we just do a nano etc hoarder, and then we do hoarder again, and we tab it out, it'll do hoarder.env, and then we can open that up and we can come over here and you can see it's actually commented out. So if you want to use OpenAI, you could just remove the comment, and then you would just remove this API key and insert yours over here. I'm going to comment that back out for the time being. If you're using an Olama based one, you could put that over here, but the info is right here if you're interested in doing so. You could just close it out, and then you could restart the container. It'll integrate the API and you're all set to go. So that is how you would integrate the OpenAI API key into it if you are interested in doing so. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. If I want to put in a new URL, I could do so. I just type in a quick URL, and now you can see it's going right through and starting to query out YouTube, and it should be able to pull up, I don't know, the header or whatever I use on my channel. But you can import whatever. So let's say like I want to do the PySelf hosted GitHub. I can come over here and I can grab the URL. I can come back over to my Hoarder and I can paste it in here, and you can see now it pulled up my Barmine Tech header, and we have our shortcut. It's going to bring me right to the channel, and it's going to be the same thing now. You can see it's pulling the GitHub first, and now we can come over to the URL and we have the shortcut to PySelf hosted. That's pretty much the majority of Hoarder. If you're interested, there's lists. You could add on, make new lists. You can generate your own tags if you're interested in it. If you don't want to use the AI calls, you can of course generate your own tags like self-hosted, programming, etc. It's just going to be a little time consuming if you have a lot of bookmarks, and then add them from there. There's highlights, and then you could of course archive as well if you have links or notes or whatever you need to archive. But that's Hoarder. That's how you set it up. That's how it operates, and that's pretty much it. One thing I forgot to mention, if you come over here to the dock, there's the quick sharing extensions. There are, like I was mentioning, there's an app you can put on iOS or Android. There's browser extensions, so if you're a Chrome user, you should still be able to grab it here. I think Firefox, they removed it. So due to the trademark conflictions, they removed it from Firefox, but it still is accessible in Chrome. I think for the most part, everybody's using a Chromium-based browser at this point, so you should be good. And it is still on the App Store, I'm pretty sure. You could just link it back to your instance that you're using. I will go over really quick how to link it for the extension because it was not that straightforward when I was trying to do it. So I'm just going to copy this link. I'm going to open up Chrome and I'll show you really quick. So we can see over here, I'm just going to add it to Chrome really quick. I'm going to add the extension, and now it's been added. So over here, I'm just going to open up a new tab. I have my extensions and I'm going to pin it. So over here, I just need to link it. To link it, you need to do HTTP, or if you're using HTTPS, whichever one, and then it's going to be the URL or the IP. So I'm just going to grab that really quick. So to sign in, you're just going to come over to the extension and it's going to ask for the server address. So it's just going to be http:// the IP of wherever you're running it, and then the port is 3000. We're going to click configure. We're going to type in your email and the password you set up, and now over here you can see that we're able to connect and we have it set. So if I do want to come over here and add bookmarks, we can. Let's say I come over to the Hoarder site, I could actually come over here and it just added it. I could add a tag if you want, or you could add it to a list, and then it's just all set. So of course I'm jumping over browsers right now, but we should now have the Hoarder's Chrome store available, so you can see how that works. It's cross-platform, so everything works out, and it's the same, like I said, if you're using the app on your phone. So now I think that's pretty much everything you need to know to set up Hoarder and get going with it. So like I said, Hoarder's a pretty cool tool. It's, you know, if you have a lot of bookmarks or a lot of notes or anything you want to organize, especially if you want to integrate the OpenAI, you could do a lot with it, especially if you want to stay organized. Definitely a cool project. I hope going forward it stays, you know, available. I hope there's no more drama or any issues with it going forward, and I hope that the original creator can keep on with their project without issue. As always, I want to thank you all for watching. I'll have links to all the gear in my home lab below if you're interested in checking any of it out, getting it for yourself. I'll have a link to the Discord server if you want to join up and we can chat about projects or, you know, just normal community stuff. Other than that, I want to thank you all for watching, and as my buddy Don would say, hack till it hurts.